Somewhere in the middle of my presentation, it's a story about Nadia. And this is a borrowed character from my friend Scott Bales, who is part of the Movement Bank. And he talks about different characters just to kind of emphasize how financial services is changing, right? And Nadia is a person that was born on the 4th of September 1998, the same day Google was born, right? And Nadia is going to make her critical decision of financial services. We all know as banking, it's a industry-held statistic that at 16, 17, most people make their crucial decision about what their primary relationship with their financial services provider is going to be. So we're not talking about someone that was born on the iPhone and so on. They will have a little more time. This is someone that's born on Google, and she has a year to choose. Fast tracking this, normally we go through this a little bit. The fast tracking here is a case of, a lot of businesses that we knew as we were growing up, most of us in this room, most of us, even you, right? And it's businesses that we took for granted. We talked about Britannica before, gone. We talk about Argos catalog today, this year, last year, actually they went, out of business. They kind of shut down our catalog. CDs that, we talk about iTunes and stuff, CDs. I was trying to tell my kids about tapes and showing a picture of a tape with a pencil, and they're going, what is that? Let alone CDs, Borders, one of the biggest, largest chain went bust overnight, seemingly. We talked about the music industry, phones, fax machines. So all of us, every one of us have a fax number on our business cards. How many times, our kids really fax? What is that? It's just not going to happen. And then think about we talked a lot about bank branches. There was an article about, Metro Bank saying branches are good, First Direct saying they're bad. What's going to happen? And, really do we expect Nadia to be writing a check anytime soon, right? So, a lot of folks have spoken about it. The King and Kroner spent a lot of time speaking about the change in financial services. A dramatic change going on, both on the consumer side. For the first time, the consumer is at the cutting edge technology. If you ask people in this room 5 years ago if their technology was better at home or work, most people would have said at work, much better technology. Today, the answer is completely changed. For the first time, the consumer, in all the technology revolution that you had over decades and decades, first time the consumer is driving that change, and we are trying to catch up as businesses and corporates. So a lot of change in technology, Raspberry Pi, if anyone's heard of that, it's a fantastic little gadget, 60 pounds, and it has more power than most of the machines sitting in our work and our home environments. Social, we talked about that, transparency, regulation, so change is certainly ahead. When we started looking at this business, Sean talks about this, you could think about, you could actually count the number of startups in financial services on, maybe not on your fingers, but certainly in a one-page of a spreadsheet. This is just a mobile space, and it's 300-400 companies. We as Anthemis track about 300-400 companies across financial services alone. So just in the last 3-4 years, just a Cambrian explosion of what's happening in financial services. Here is Anthemis, so that's where you're born. Really trying to, key success factor for us is trying to build a network of, companies, people, and knowledge. That's what we're trying to bring together, trying to address this change. And so we, some of us foresaw this a little bit. We were all of us come from financial services backgrounds, fintech technology, kind of banking, and really across the breadth of the industry. And we kind of said, how do we go about creating something that helps to address this change that's going on in financial services? It's a little bit, it's about really the tremendous value that we try to add is having corporate relationships on one side, leading incumbents that are trying to think about change. And we talked a lot of number of conversations we had on our table about how big organizations are trying to really grapple with this thing, and how do we bring organizations that have been around for decades and try to bring on change. At the other end, all these fascinating innovation companies that are trying to come up with lots of ideas, and how do we create the third space. That's really Anthemis and Anthemis Edge, which is our brand name for our advisory business, is how do we bring that together? It's about market intelligence and scale on one side, and innovation and business models and ideas on the other side. A lot of us come from big company backgrounds, and so we know that it's not easy. And sometimes we feel when we are having these discussions between corporates and entrepreneurs, it almost feels somewhat like this. And we are the translation layer in between. You take your pick about which one are you, right? Which side is the corporate, which is the entrepreneur. Just a quick thing, we go across all kinds of verticals in our space, really focused in this, and kind of have deep expertise in this. We are geographic agnostic. The only place we're really not present today is Latin America. Otherwise, we operate either as investments, businesses, advisory, M&A stuff we do across the board. We have a network of people that come from very varied backgrounds within financial services and come from really having worked in all kinds of geographies around the world. Believe it or not, we have in our 26 people full-time, we have 16 nationalities. People, these are real nationalities, not multiple passports, right? And Uday and I have learned to work together, even despite our heritage. Yeah. And so, this is, at the end of the day, we're trying to really be something different, right? We're trying to advise our customers. We're trying to transform and invest at the same time. And so this is about industry veterans, not just consultants who just picked up financial services yesterday. It's about commercially measurable, and it's not theories. It's really practical stuff. A couple examples. One of the leading print directory came to us. They are, a print directory is clearly a dying business. They have 1.3 million merchants, 30,000 sales force, both in the US, UK, and Latin America. They came to us and said, look, we want to get into the payments business. How do we get into the payments business? So we established a payments business for them from scratch. It took us 8 months, 4 or 5 people. Really, people understood the industry, and their business is up and running. And in the process, we worked with some friends in the room and kind of helped them hire the entirety of their management team, a complete leadership team, and really it was a build, operate, transfer. So we came up with the idea, helped them think about the idea, and implement it. A large insurance company, one of the largest in the globe, came up and said, we are really struggling with this concept called innovation. How do you innovate? How do you incubate? How do you think about this space? And we spent a lot of time helping them think about this outside, within the context of the business. And given the fact that we had large company experience, we could bring something that was real for them, right? So as opposed to just coming up with some bright ideas that really couldn't be implemented in an organization of that size. And then, for some a client of ours, we came up with we helped them really think out of the box for a, kind of put together multiple lines of businesses for them and kind of created a product set, 3 lines of products lines really, where we combined a number of things. And some of this was really kind of incubation within their own organization. Some of this was acquisition stuff. Some of this was kind of us building from scratch, and then helping them hire the right leadership team to drive this business forward. So that's what we're looking to do. Is really in that conversation we're having is how do we help them again advise, transform, and invest along those lines and kind of come up with something which is different and really meaningful to the bottom line. And we try to have some fun while doing it.